Now let's add some grip to our handle. So the first thing I want to do is take a look at this in smooth mode. You can see this is pretty squared off here where you're kind of wrap your fingers around, and so I want to round that off a little bit more. So let's select these edges just at the sides here. We'll do the same thing over on this side. And I'm just going to move those up a little bit, okay, to kind of just round things off a little. If you want to kind of scale it in a little bit, you can do that too. So it just kind of serves to round off that edge to make it look a little bit more like you could just grab it. All right, let's, for the grip, just create a little bit of an inset look for this. And so let's choose every other row here. And let's grab all of these. So we've got all those selected. Let's go ahead and do an extrude, and let's do a little bit of an offset. So 0.3, we'll do an offset of 0.3. Now we'll do the alternating rows. And we'll leave the back, I think. Make sure we don't have anything else selected. Again, do an extrude, and again, set the offset to 0.3. So it's about the same. All right, now we can take those polygons, and we'll just select all of those. And then these as well. Making sure we don't have anything else selected. And let's do an extrude, and this time we'll just push it in using thickness. Maybe at -0.2 or so. And that gives us those little indentions there. So kind of some little openings in the back. Now I want to have some pieces coming down here for kind of a grip for fingers. And so I'm going to grab, let's say, these 4 polygons just in the middle. Let's do an extrude with an offset. Now you can see I want to actually deal with these, and right now it's doing what we would expect. It's extruding them as a whole. I want to actually treat them as separate polygons. Okay, and so what we'll do is just simply go to Edit Mesh, and we'll turn off this Keep Faces Together option. Then when we create the same extrude, now when we offset it, they're all going to be treated separately. So this allows us to do separate extrusions very, very quickly. Then I can just pull this down, and then you get this sort of look for kind of a finger grip there. Okay. If you wanted to, instead of pulling them straight down, if you wanted to have a little bit more room between them, so we'll do an extrude and we'll do an offset, just like that. And then if you wanted to have a bit more room between them, instead of pulling them down, you just repeat that extrude, and now just pull those down. And then if you wanted to kind of scale them, and then when you smooth it, you'll have a bit more room between those. But either way is okay. Just to give a little bit of an indication of kind of a grip there. I also want to create a little bit of a curve to this. Right now, it's just completely straight. And so there are several ways that we can do this. Let's go ahead and go to Animation, Create Deformers, and let's create a nonlinear bend. Now the bend is going up and down right now, so I want to actually rotate it 90 degrees, the manipulator there. And if we go into the bend and just change the curvature, you can see it's bending sideways, which is not what we want. Okay, and so we want to also rotate it in the Z 90 degrees. And then we can take our bend and rotate it how we want. Now I want to actually bend it from here. And so I can take this, and it's actually the high bound, take this high bound value down to 0, and then the curvature will happen from here, although you can see that it's not really happening the way that we want. So what we can also do is change the low bound, and then we can also change the position of the manipulator. So we can go ahead and take it and say, okay, I want to curve it from there, and then take that curvature and then take it down. So I want to get something that is pretty subtle. So maybe something like that. Now when you're done using your deformer, you want to remove it from the history, you just delete it. Delete the history, that is. So that gives you a little bit of a curve on there. All right, so now that we've got that built, if you want to add any more little details to this, maybe do another extrusion coming along here, feel free to do that. But the next thing that we want to do is come in and build the trigger. And that should just about finish up our gun. Then we can kind of get the handle into position if we want to and start to clean up our scene. So in the next lesson, we'll add an area for the trigger and also add the trigger itself. So we'll go ahead and do that next.